This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
Beers in the Lot is brought to you by...
Shouldn't having conversations with your money be easy? Like easier than pronouncing Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Yeah, there's no way anyone gets that on the first try. F&M Trust is here to help you have better conversations with your money. Go bank it easy at fmtrust.bank.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 131 of Beers in the Lot. Unlike the 131 forecheck, episode 131 of Beers in the Lot is pretty entertaining. Unfortunately, at this time of the year, the Super Bowl kind of dominates everything, but that was okay for us because we were able to give our impressions of the game and relate them back to hockey. And the NHL is 2 weeks out from its trade deadline. So we talked about the Tarasenko move to the New York Rangers and how Patrick Kane is a big baby. Don't forget, anything Beers in the Lot related, you can find at our website, beersinthelot.com. We've got merch. We've got the link to the Discord server. Go check it out, beersinthelot.com. Now, let's crack those beers.
What you drinking tonight, Daniel?
So I'm just finishing off the growler from yesterday from the Super Bowl. I have a Attaboy beer, guava, no guava, and it's pretty damn good. Riggs' recommendation, and I approve. What do you got in that glass, Riggs?
I also have guava, no guava.
Oh,
How about that?
From Attaboy
yes.
in downtown Frederick. I too filled a growler, and this is the leftover from yesterday for the big game.
The big game.
Yeah, the big game.
The game that shall not be named.
I don't know. I got a little rant. But we'll get to that in a minute. Jonathan, what do you have?
I also, from Attaboy Beer Company, have a Tarts McGee. I don't remember if I had this previously. I don't remember, but...
Well, 131 episodes now.
Yeah, I mean... yeah.
There's going to be some repeats.
Yeah. At this point, we're allowed.
Yeah.
I mean...
I think I've only had a few repeats.
Well, you're sponsored secretly, so I mean...
I know.
No.
Yeah.
Allowed to.
All the beer sponsors I have.
Yeah. Aaron, what about you? What are you drinking?
I have from New Belgium Brewing a Summer Bliss Tropical Wheat. Since I'm going on a business trip to Florida tomorrow, seems only fitting. Should have a beer that talks about summer bliss because it's going to be a low of 65 there tomorrow.
Aaron's going to Daytona.
Yeah.
Robin's racing.
Cargo shorts will be out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aaron, if you wear shorts on the plane, you're a disgusting human being.
Nah, I'm gonna wear shorts on the plane. I absolutely wear shorts on
What?
the plane. Why wouldn't I be comfortable?
You want your legs to touch other people's legs?
They are not gonna touch other people's legs
You never know.
because I'm
Yeah,
not
because
I'm not a degenerate.
Yeah, because
I
everyone
never
else
said-
wears pants.
No, not because of that. Because I don't go around brushing my legs up against people. What do you guys do on planes?
It's not what you're doing, it's what the others are doing.
Planes are tight environments.
Yeah, I don't
You guys go on weird planes. Just saying.
Oh, where do you are you flying? Are you flying private or something? Are you trying to big wheel
What
us?
are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
What, you don't know G4 pilots on a first name
Yeah.
basis?
Jeez. Man.
No, I'm flying Spirit.
Oh God!
That actually makes sense,
Good
Aaron,
luck, Aaron.
because your shorts won't get there. You may get
Yeah,
there, but
where
everything
are
else
you
won't
going?
get there.
You're going to Florida?
And I'm not checking anything.
Oh, okay. I was going to say your bags will end up in Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get a call from customs like in Timbuktu. Excuse me, Mr. Michaels,
We
your
received
luggage
your
is here.
luggage.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
Do you
I
want it
didn't even
delivered
think
to your
Spirit
hut?
did international. Yeah, Spirit does international. Yeah. Oh, now I always wear pants on plane because like people touch you. I have weird issues. Anyway, we don't need to get into it, but yeah. So
Planes are
Whatever.
gross environments.
yeah, they're
Yes,
nasty.
they are.
Gross.
So be comfortable
nasty.
in them.
I don't want to
know.
touch. I don't want anything touching anything.
Yeah.
You're breathing everything that all those people are breathing. You're
Which is
touching.
bad
You're
enough.
sitting in a
bad
spot that
enough.
somebody was sitting in a minute ago.
Yeah.
You can't protect yourself from the dangers of the world that are somehow magically much worse on an airplane.
Wait.
Fucking be
What do you mean you
comfortable.
can't protect yourself? You can take small steps.
Can you?
You can.
Can you?
That's why I
Wear
take,
pants.
That's why I take
All
wipes
you.
and I wipe down the armrest and the tray and all the
All right,
all
that's
the
fine.
surfaces
That's
that I
fine.
might touch that I'm not going to touch.
That's fine. You can do whatever you like.
You remember
We'll be on
E.T.? Remember E.T. when they like the astronauts come up? That's what I look like getting on a plane. I'm carrying the tube to the plane and shit.
Yeah.
At any rate, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to Florida. So, unfortunately, it means that I can't do the edit because I actually have to leave for this flight in like 4 hours or something.
I go to Florida and I get the money.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll see all these old timers from the Northeast. What do they miss? I don't know. Hockey. Exactly.
I'm gonna be flying over North Carolina though, where they're putting an ice rink in. Hopefully they don't have weather like we'll be in Florida.
I checked Raleigh's forecast earlier today. It's supposed to be 73 on Thursday.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Oh no.
Well, the
Yeah.
ice truck, I mean, they should be able to do some things.
I don't know. Look, they showed a picture, or somebody posted a picture on Twitter or whatever today.
Mm-hmm.
The ice was completely exposed to the sun at midday
gosh.
No.
today, and they hadn't even started painting yet. So
They can probably run that truck at full blast, and if they have compressors going, then they might keep the surface under 32. But that you can't play on that.
They have two trucks. The one they did at Dodger Stadium, they had both trucks on site.
yeah, I mean the good news is they're gonna play at night. The game's scheduled for 8 o'clock, I think. So maybe
So it should be fine then.
Once sun's
Maybe they'll
low,
get a dip. Yeah.
They can kind of make ice, but who knows? 73 on Thursday.
Wonder what the real contingency is if the ice is unusable. I wonder if they just, go down the road and play play where the Canes normally play.
There's the game, right? And then there's all the tickets that they sold in that big football stadium, which is at least twice the size as PNC there. So I don't know if, do you just tell half the people to go home?
Sorry, you weren't sitting close enough.
You just kick them out.
I hope not. Hopefully
they just get a bunch of people. They just get a bunch of people like, hey, you scumbag, you didn't pay as much as a Super Bowl ticket. Don't complain.
Well, they played in California when it was pretty warm.
Yeah,
right?
they did the Dodger Stadium game.
Yeah.
And that was like typical California weather. And then they also did the one back in like 94, 95 at Caesar's Palace in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they did the games there, like you can, they'll figure it out.
They'll have something.
Yeah.
It'll work out. As long as it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Rain would be a
doesn't
killer.
work.
Yeah. Turn into curling ice at best.
Yeah. Well, Riggs, you said you had some sort of rant tying into Rihanna's halftime performance or something.
No, I don't care. Whatever.
Okay.
The halftime, whatever. I was fine. It was, I don't care either way.
Yeah.
But explain to me a sport in which the defense completely stops trying at the end of the game. Because if the other team scores quickly, then they'll get possession back and they're more likely to win.
Yeah, I've never
So they
understood
basically
that football strategy.
They basically just stopped playing. Like all the Philadelphia defenders just stood up and watched the Kansas City running back like start to go into the end zone. And then he realized what was happening and he goes down on his own. Explain to me, like, why are we watching this shit?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
why, like,
It makes sense. Like, yeah, just give them the goal. Well, that's the other thing too that I've heard I've heard recently. It's like football is, it's a high scoring game, so it's more exciting. Is it really high scoring though?
The game ended on a field goal.
Right. Right. So if you consider a touchdown, like, that's what you want to do to score, right? How many touchdowns did each team get? 2, 3?
I don't
3 or 4?
I don't even
The game
remember.
was 4-3. That's what it was. It's not low scoring. It's not high scoring. It's low scoring. The game was 4-3. It's no different than other games.
How could it
It's just
go,
made up points.
How could it go like back and forth the way that it did? And then you get to those final few minutes, and now like, we're just gonna stop playing. We're basically, both teams are gonna stop playing the game. We're not playing football anymore. We're just managing the time. That's what we're doing.
Right.
We're managing the time like we're running a factory or something. Like, this is so stupid.
Yeah. It now, at a certain point in the game, it makes sense to let the other team score so that you have a better chance to win. That's a bullshit game.
Yes.
That's a bullshit game.
It is the dumbest sport. It is the dumbest sport. I'm sorry. Dumb.
I'm not a big football fan. I just don't like the whole what is it? Like, it's the toughest sport in the world, yada yada.
Yeah,
but then like you see some of the nonsense holding calls and whatnot, and then like you can't even touch a quarter. I mean, yes, this is coming from like hockey centric guys, so like I'm sure someone's willing to, make our argument Swiss cheese, but hockey, I don't care what you say, like it's the only sport in the history of sports I can think of off the top of my head, at least the major sports in North America, where you have to learn how to essentially walk and run all over again on your playing surface so you can be proficient enough in the game.
Take
like,
any aspect of hockey.
Yeah.
Any single aspect of
lot
hockey. And to become proficient enough to be a professional at it takes an ungodly amount of time. Far more than the 10,000 hours to mastery bullshit that
it's a lifetime.
Say. It's a lifetime.
It's a lifetime, man.
You have to cram absolutely every second of your life into getting better at any single aspect of hockey in order to make it to the pros.
The best player in the entire world last offseason wanted to work on his shot because he said it wasn't good enough.
Right. And
he has 42 goals now.
Yeah.
Like, so that just shows like his level of mastery is amazing as he is, because he is essentially like I think he's the best player in the league and in the world right now. Easy. Like, it's not much of an argument.
Who?
But who? Connor
okay.
McDommer, guy who shoots at empty nets. He's a slime ball. But but like a guy like him who's so good is like, no, I'm not the best at this. So like, even though he is a really good passer, a really good stick handler, a fabulous skater, he's like, my shot is deficient for where it needs to be.
Well, it's also one of the only team sports where it's not dominated by
an individual
or two players. Like in football, it's the
quarterback
quarterback and the running back and the wide receiver. Like, those guys basically run the show. If you don't have those guys, then you got no chance. But in hockey, basketball is similar. It's like if you've got a couple of guys that are extremely good, then they're going to play the whole game, and they're going to give you a much better chance to win, and likely a huge advantage. And arguably, you could say that hockey is similar to basketball in that regard, because a good player will give you a better opportunity to win, but it's not just 5 to 7 guys that go out and play. It's 18. And you need all 18 of those guys to play in order to have a chance to win. You can't have one guy go out and Iron Man 60 minutes a night. It just doesn't work. It's not the same.
Sick, though, don't you think?
It would be sick, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, who was it? What team was it? It may have been Tampa, maybe last year. They had like a lot of salary cap issues when they were on the road, and they couldn't recall guys. So they had like 4 or 5 defensemen, and Hedman played like almost 40 minutes.
That's nuts.
Like
That's crazy.
They just put him out. Yeah, exactly.
Like top line defenders get like 25, 26 minutes, right?
Yeah.
They're hovering 25 plus. If you're a top line forward on a team that
You're getting like 17 to 20.
yeah, 17 to 20, maybe 21 if you're like in that range.
If you're on a power play and you get a bunch of calls or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And I know like in the playoffs it flips a little bit depending on, your special teams. But yeah, like man, it's
a lot
it's
totally different. It's totally different. It's hard for us as hockey people to see other sports and not think these sports suck by comparison to hockey. It's very difficult. But
Man, when I saw them,
yes, no, your point about them not playing essentially. That's bullshit.
Both teams stopped playing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to score too fast. Like fuck that.
In the biggest game in the championship, like they both stopped playing so that they could manage the time. And then Kansas City sends the kicker out there, and of course he makes it because it was like a 30-yarder or something. It's not even that. Like it's like an extra point. Like so
it's dumb.
And the game up to that point was actually exciting. It was actually somewhat, in the balance. Like it could have gone either way. And then you get to those last few minutes and it's like, okay, it's just a matter of time now. So we're just going to stop playing. We're not even going to try to score, whatever.
We're going to wait until the play clock runs all the way to 1 second and then snap it. We're just going to literally waste time. Like that's
so stupid.
It's dumb.
I used to be a big football guy. I used to have like 3 fantasy teams in different leagues, and like I would watch every Sunday, like all this stuff. But over the years, it just got worse and worse and worse. And I don't watch anymore at all, unless like for Super Bowl, And
because then it's like social and shit.
That's all it is. It's like, oh well, this is basically the only thing on TV, and sometimes I put a little money here or there, and so there's a little interest in the game. Like it's on a whole like that last whatever the defensive holding call on that last pass. Like, I'm sure by the letter of the law, okay, but the officials got to understand what the situation is, right? Like, you can't be deciding games on ticky-tack calls like that. And that's a place where I think the NHL, as much controversy as there is about how the officiating changes from the regular season to playoffs and even from week to week or whatever,
right?
You're never going to see an NHL official kind of put themselves in the way of the result of a big game.
At least not intentionally. I think it's happened once in a while, but the officials are not trying to decide the game. They're trying to let the teams decide it. They're just trying to keep the teams under control while they're doing it for the most part.
They're just managing the game or whatever, or facilitating it or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And, but I couldn't, like, if it was, a deciding game in a Stanley Cup playoffs round or even in the final, if something that sort of light or insignificant happened, even though by the letter of the law, yes, it is probably a penalty, you probably wouldn't see the arm go up.
No. If it's not going to have consequence on the outcome of the game, then like the refs will call a penalty if it's like a clear scoring chance.
Absolutely.
And every time they're going to call that. But if it's like, in the neutral zone, he kind of got his stick under his skate, whatever.
Right.
They're not going to call shit like that.
Right. Let it go.
But anyway,
it's dumb. Yeah. Just it just reinforces why I don't watch that on Sundays, like at all. Like I just don't.
Ate and drank some beer. It was good. It was a good time.
Yeah, man.
I did place a little coin on the opening coin toss. Just to, Well, I selected heads and it was tails.
Oh, you lost.
How I lost.
Oh, you lost.
Because every time I say tails never fails, it always loses.
One thing I thought was really funny was that people were betting on the color of the Gatorade.
Oh, the Gatorade,
and they didn't show it. They didn't show it for like,
purple. It was
like 2 hours.
It was purple.
Like, could you imagine the people losing their mind? Yeah.
The odds were nuts. It was like
Purple was 9,000 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Because no one drinks purple Gatorade.
if it was clear or nobody did it, then the odds of that were super, super good for like if you were to bet on that and that was what it was, you would have made a lot of money. But
yeah. That's a good prop. I like that. I like that prop bet every year. That's a good one.
That and the length of the anthem.
Link to the anthem.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Or what was they do now for a halftime performance? What's so and so's first song? Like what are they coming out with?
Yeah, right.
That's
What
always
do they
good.
open?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. All in all, it wasn't terrible to watch, I suppose, but apart from, the faults of the game, the inherent flaws of the game. But as a spectacle, it's an American tradition, I guess.
It is. I will say
Yeah.
that.
Riggs is over there just dying.
Unfortunately.
No,
Oh.
No, it's the tradition of getting together, eating, and drinking. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
the fun.
My son asked me today, what was that last night? We're like,
What
the Super
happened
Bowl
last
party.
night?
He's like,
what was that for?
What's a Super Bowl?
he was like, can we do that again? Because he had such a good time playing with all the other kids. I was like,
That's
yeah, absolutely, bud, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, let's take a quick break and hear from our network sponsors.
Shouldn't having conversations with your money be easy? Like easier than pronouncing Worcester? Nope, Worcester. Huh, Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Oh, man. Yeah, there's no way anyone gets that on the first try. F&M Trust is here to help you have better conversations with your money. Our business banking relationship managers deliver the personalized service and speedy responses that help your small business do big things. Go bank it easy at fmtrust.bank. Member FDIC. Worcestershire. Worcestershire?
What else is going on? Oh, there's been some trades. Tarasenko is a Ranger now. And he's not so stinko anymore.
He wasn't with St. Louis
He
either.
wasn't.
What
Yeah, no. I'm being whatever.
People said he was like kind of sulking in St. Louis, though. I don't know.
Yeah. I gotta feel like
he was what in St. Louis?
He was sulking
Yeah.
Oh,
because
really?
he asked for a trade like a while back, and they never did it, and yada yada. And I think because he's an unrestricted, and
they didn't give him a deal.
yeah, St. Louis is one of those teams that's definitely going to be going through some changes. So yeah,
Patrick Kane was miffed that Rangers
That-
were probably off the table.
that
but
annoys
Yeah.
me so much.
I agree. That annoys me.
why
too.
bring
Like,
that up?
What a baby!
Like, why even say anything about it? It's not a good look for him. If you ask me.
Yeah,
Well, among other not good looks. for
Yeah,
him.
Yeah, I mean,
among
one
other
of
not good
many
things.
not so good looks. that
correct,
he's had.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
will say no more.
Yeah, we'll leave it at
He's
that.
the one with the no move clause, who can
Yeah, right.
who can take offers from other teams with his agent. And the fact that he's just going to like not say anything, not make a decision on his future. And then when a team that it was long rumored that they would potentially court him or be interested if they can make the dollars and cents work.
When they made a move,
I'm upset, man. Well, boo frickety who, dude.
and what are you going to
like-
change by saying anything about it?
Exactly.
You gonna,
yeah.
Are they going to reverse the trade with Tarasenko?
Get outta
Like,
here.
Come on, get out.
Yeah. Get out of here, dude.
Oh wait, you know what? My bad.
You
My
know,
bad.
Yeah.
head on back there, Vlad.
Yeah.
We're
You
gonna
know, Pat,
we're
you know,
we're gonna
Pat,
bring
we
Patty
made a
over.
mistake. Yeah. Sorry, Vladdy. We made a mistake. We kind of wanted Pat. Like, get out of here, man. Yeah. Whoopsie. Yeah. come
Although
on.
that New York team just got better.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now it slots a lot of guys in better situation. Because Vladdy can play with Panarin. They have the kid line back to together.
Can Vladdy ever play with Panarin? First shift, they got a goal.
They're best buddies, and apparently, like I think Friedman said, like a few years ago when he was leaving Columbus, he vouched to St. Louis management, like, "Hey, you guys should really look at this guy," and they were like, "No." They just were like, "No." So good for him. I mean, that's cool.
Good for them.
I will say it. When you play with your friends, like. It makes playing it, and I'm sure being a professional player, like especially when you go through some of the doldrums of the season, like you got to go on a road trip to Arizona and stuff. Like I'm sure it makes it better. Like
Absolutely.
some of those things when you can do things together. So that's cool. And I know Chikrin for Arizona. Speaking of them, they're gonna hold him out of the lineup till at least. Well, hopefully he's traded, but
till April.
Yeah, till April at this point, because they don't want him to get hurt. So I mean, well, March 1st. March 1st is
I know. I'm March 1st,
but it's but it's funny because it's like we're like, what is today? Yeah, there's like 14, 15 days. Like,
what
are you doing, man? Like, and they're just gonna hold his ass out.
Yeah,
like, ugh.
And who was the goalie for Senators? The goalie.
Forsberg.
Forsberg.
Yeah.
My gosh. Tore his both MCLs.
Both of them.
And the news came out today that he's going to be back in like 2 or 3 months.
No surgery either.
Without surgery.
That's
like,
it
must
crazy.
Have been partial tears or something. Like he must not have fully torn them. Because I don't know how you can heal from an MCL tear if it's a complete tear. They don't just, go back together.
This is where I wish. Like, there's sometimes where I wish they would disclose what the exact injuries are. And then there's times when I wish they wouldn't, because this sounds like they don't actually know yet. And they're just putting information out without having the, maybe he hasn't gone to have all the imaging done yet. I don't know. Right. But maybe he hasn't. And they're just putting stuff out as it happens day to day. And I don't think teams or players or anyone should be doing that. I think if you're going to disclose what it is, let's get the definitive diagnosis, right? Quotes and be factual about it and not just put out speculation or whatever this is, because it's a bad look. And now also, like, same sentiments about Kane I have about Ottawa. There's a lot of bad looks for Ottawa, right? So this is just another one, I think. And that's why I got excited about it in Discord, because that franchise, like, all the stuff that they've gone through the last couple of years and all the controversy and everything.
Speaking of Ottawa, did you see a background of John?
Just scored an overtime winner.
Oh, yeah.
He's good.
But anyway, he's good.
Actually, do you guys want to know something very interesting about Ottawa, which I will kudos to DJ Smith and his crew about? Do you know who is the number 2 power play in all of the league?
Ottawa.
Is it
Guessing
Ottawa?
It is Ottawa.
Don't know how
I heard
that.
I literally, I heard, I was looking at NHL stats and I was like, no. I was like, no. And I drilled down even more. I'm like, oh my gosh, they are. Every other team in the top 12 playoff team, except for Ottawa. That was it. I was like, this is crazy. But then you look at their lineup and it's like, they have a lot of players that are slotted correctly.
They're decent, man. They're okay.
Their D isn't very deep, and their goaltending's meh.
They're getting it's just got way worse, but they're
exactly yeah.
They're getting there. They're getting there. They're getting there. A couple more years, right?
Yeah, they'll be fine.
But again, everything that happened with the ownership and the GM situation and some of the player situations as people were leaving over the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of oof moments, and discussing that catastrophic injury status kind of real time with select beat writers and media members, I think is another oof moment. And maybe they should just shut up for a while until they actually know what's going on with Anton Forsberg. Because also a lot of this stuff can affect his career down the line.
Right.
Sure.
If if other teams, look at some of this information and they're trying to decide, whether he's in free agency or it's a trade situation down the line, and they know he had this is a catastrophic injury situation, they may be less inclined to make a move for him or even look at him.
Well, yeah, especially since like some of the free agents that are out there or even trades, like some management teams will consult their medical staff because some teams will say, hey, do you want to look at so-and-so's medical file? Because that sometimes is a parameter of certain trades. Like they want to know kind of, I mean, it is an investment. I hate saying it. It is. So you kind of need to look under the hood. And yeah, maybe it's not as bad as everyone's saying with the double MCL tears, which is just crazy. Like maybe they look at it. So like technically it is an MCL tear, but like maybe there were hairline tears, something like that. Whereas more a sprain, but I don't know how you want to classify them, but
well, we don't know
could be
because
something like that.
We don't know
but
because
said tears. It's like, whoa.
On Sunday, right? It happened Sunday or Saturday?
On Sunday it was announced. Yesterday it was announced.
Or yeah, so on Saturday it happened and they were like, he's out indefinitely. He's done. Right? And then yesterday they're like, oh, wait a second. Don't have to do surgery. 2 to 3 months, he'll be back, whatever.
Which is essentially the season at this point. Like,
well, obviously, but
yeah.
It also means that he could start training and
correct. Yeah.
Have a full off season and all that kind of stuff. That sounds really good. But
also goaltender with your knees, like you kind of
knees and hips, man.
Knees and hips, man.
You need them.
I mean, you need
gotta
them.
have those
knees and hips.
Yeah, knees and hips.
Those guys, not so much anymore with the knees, but knees and hips.
I mean, that's Carey Price.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Danny, so tell me, Sidney Crosby got ejected the other night. So tell me, what are your hopes of them like protecting their playoff spot with all the noise going on?
Historically, they do make a run towards the end of the season.
Yes, they're a second half team.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of frustrations right now. I've never really seen that much frustration out of the Penguins in recent years, like going into the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe it'll fire them up. Maybe they'll just go off into the sunset. I don't know.
Jari did skate today.
Yeah, they really need him. They are really struggling with Casey Smith. Not that like he's a terrible goaltender or anything like that, but he's not up to Jari's standards. But sad thing is Jari's just always injured now. So he's not a guy that you can really count on to be healthy through the whole season.
Or the playoffs.
Or the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Louis Domingue has more wins than the other guys lately. I think Louis is in the AHL this year.
Do you think they're going to be looking for a goaltender?
They gotta be, right?
The only goalie that I know that's really on the market is Arizona, Vejmelka.
Yeah, there are two types of players that are not available.
Yeah.
There are two types of players that are not available: right-handed wingers and goaltenders.
Yep.
Hey, I'm a right-handed winger that's available.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. All of us are.
Yeah.
We all are. Our puck possession numbers are through the roof.
They are.
I know. Look at my
Look at our
last
Corsi, yeah.
Look at my last game on the pond there.
God. No, not the last game. The first.
Oh
game.
no, not the last
The
one.
first
one.
The first.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
one.
we throw out
first one.
throw out the top and the bottom, right?
Yeah,
And
we
the
throw the
averages,
top and the bottom.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode as much as we enjoyed making it. If you'd like to continue the conversation with us in real time, live, in person, go check out our Discord server at beersinthelot.com/Discord. I promise it's not just for your kids gaming. And remember, new Beers in the Lot episodes release on Wednesdays. So we'll catch you next week.